Hello, Max DeBoss here, and today I'm going to go over a quick lesson of the basics of Adobe Premiere Pro. So this is not going to be crazy in depth. It's going to be more all the basic tools you need to know, how to start a project and how to finish a quick editing project. So that being said, here we go. So this is assuming you already have Adobe Premiere installed on your computer and you know where to find it. I have my Adobe Premiere here on the bottom. So Premiere is a little square with a PR in the center. First thing you're going to want to do is open Premiere Pro. As this is opening, we are starting this assuming you have already filmed something that you want to edit. So you have either filmed a video, filmed a screencast, etc. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be editing a screencast project, and so you can see kind of all the steps that I would do on how to make a quick little video. Something that I'm actually working on like this. So you'd see how I could do this. So you open Premiere Pro. The first thing you want to do is you want to start a new project. When you start a project, you want to name your project. I'm going to call this, How to Use Premiere Pro. And you want to know exactly where you are saving it. So I like to save all my projects within their own files. It's important to have everything nice and tidy because files can get everywhere, and every time you have files spread across places, it can get very confusing. So I'm going to go into my Premiere Pro folder. I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call that Premiere Tutorial Video. And that's where all my files are going to live. The next thing you want to do is you want to check. For the most part, your renderer is going to be selected pretty much correct. If you have a very high-end computer, with some GPU acceleration, you can choose that. This computer does not have that, so I won't choose it. Display, you want a time code, you want audio samples, and your capture format, that's either going to be digital video or high definition. So I'm doing this in high def. The next thing you want to do is set your scratch disks. So scratch disks are very important. Scratch disks are best described as all of the files that are contained in your project are your scratch disks. So that includes, as you see here, you have your video files, your audio files, your preview files, your audio previews, and how your project auto saves, as well as all your Creative Cloud libraries if you're using Creative Cloud. It's hard to kind of explain what scratch disks are, but they need to all be in the same folder as your project. So that's a key reason why you want to make your own project, and you want to double check that your video is same as project. Your capture scratch disks. The reason is it's kind of hard to explain, but essentially imagine if Premiere is like a shell. So imagine you're using word processor, right? Microsoft Word, and everything you did in Word wasn't necessarily saved in that Word file. So when you open up a Word document, it opens up and everything's there. Imagine if every time you typed something inside a Word file, it actually saved what you typed in a separate folder. And every time you added an image to that Word file, it went into a separate folder. And every time you changed the fonts or used some word art, that went into a different folder. And then when you opened up Word, Word needed to find where all those folders are. That's kind of what your scratch disks are. So the actual Adobe Premiere project file does not hold all your information. It saves it in different folders, and that's what these folders are. Ingest settings, keep them as they are. You're going to want to hit OK. And Premiere will open. Premiere is going to have different settings. The first thing you want to do is you're going to go to Window and Workspaces. I find the easiest way is going to be editing, since we are doing editing video. If you're doing just audio, you can go to Audio and see how it changes the entire almost landscape. Since we're doing video editing, we're going to want to go to Editing. So Premiere has a couple areas here, and you know the area you're working in by if they're highlighted. So mine are highlighted in blue when I click on them. And within each of these areas, you have separate areas. So over here, we have the project, which is where you're going to import your media. You have a media browser, which is how we can find the media. We have libraries, and there's further if you keep on going. We have info, effects, markers, and history. Over here, we have our effects controls, our source clips, audio clip meters, metadata. Here we have our program window, and we have our timeline window. So this is going to be a bit confusing until I show you what these are. So the first thing we want to do is go to Browse for Media, and we want to find the video files and all the files we're going to use for our project. So I already, of course, I'm assuming as if you would have had, you've had your video files already recorded. So I'm going to go and find my desktop. And of course, I got to find where it all is. On my desktop, so I'm just going to a media browser. This is just like using the File Explorer. I already created a folder called Video. That's where I have my stuff. So I have a couple of things. I have one, the video I already recorded. I have two, the music I want to use for my video already found. And three, the graphic I want to use. So I'm going to select all of those. I'm going to right-click them and hit Import. Once those are imported, they go into my project window. Now I have three things. I have my audio, I have my video, and I have my graphic file. So in order to create a sequence, they also call that the timeline, you want to bring in your video file. So I am bringing in, by clicking and dragging my video file, I'm going to drop it here. What it's going to do is it's automatically going to import that. If I hit play or the space bar, it's going to start playing that video file that I have. So now that you understand this, the program window is what the final project looks like. So as I edit here, you will know how it looks here. If you double-click any of these, you also have your source window. The source window it lets you know how something will look before you bring it into your timeline. So if I'm looking through here and I go, okay, how does this file look? I can double-click it, or I can even double-click this video and say, okay, this is all the stuff I have. So there's a couple ways you can import footage. The first one is what I already showed you. You can grab and drop it in. And I have some extra space at the beginning of this video. So if I hit play, you'll see I already recorded me trying to set things up. So I don't want to start the video there. I want to start it there, where I say, hi, Max the Boss. So I have two options. I can start playing and find where that is. Now that I know, it starts right about here. And I can actually tell that by the audio. So you have two layers. You have video and audio. And that's, you can see, V1, video 1, A1, audio 1. And if I zoom in on that, and I can also bring this down, which expands, these here are my audio levels. So I can see I start talking right where my audio starts. You can also notice that by these audio levels here. So as I play it, Max the Boss here from maxwellsmart.co, you can see it. So I know I want to start my video here. So first tool you're going to use is the razor tool. You can just select that by clicking it or by hitting C. So I grab my razor tool. I'm going to want to cut that part and that part. So essentially what it is, if you think of this as a film strip, I have just taken scissors and sliced it. I can go back to my selection tool, and now I can select just these parts. I can highlight them, hit delete, and now my video doesn't have any of that. Now my video starts. Hi, Max the Boss here from Maxwell Smart. Right there. So that is one way to start editing your video. Razor tool. The second way, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to show you another way you can do this. Another way you can do this is, I'm going to make this screen a little bit bigger. is you select the video inside your source window, and I start watching it. Hi. And I know that's where I want to start it. So I'm going to go back a little bit. Right there is where I want it to start. So I'm going to hit my mark in. So I'm marking where it starts. Hi. Max the Boss here from MaxwellSmart.co. I'm going to go to the end where it ends. And it ends right here. Let's find it. That is it for today. Please follow up next time on usability. Have a good day. And I'm going to mark my out. So I have in and out. So it's only selected this part of my video. I can grab this, go to the beginning, and now that I know that's all I want, I can hit insert. And it's going to insert just the part I selected. So my video starts. Hi, Max the Boss here from MaxwellSmart.co. Right there. And it ends right there. Two ways to import video into your timeline are like that. Next tool you're going to use, well, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to bring in an intro. I want to make an intro for this video. And I want to do that by bringing in a graphic. So I can bring in a graphic by just dragging and dropping it in. So two things. As you'll notice, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. You're going to notice two things. One is my graphic is overlaid on top of my video. So you can layer videos. You can layer as many video lines as you want. Also as many audio lines. Think of that as, you know those projectors that you'd use as a kid in school? And they would layer the clear plastic and draw on it and put the other one, call them transparencies. Think of this kind of like transparencies. You can keep on layering video. I obviously don't want this on top of my other video. So I'm going to lay this here. I'm going to grab this, and I'm just going to drag it so it starts after this graphic. The graphic starts, and as this ends, the video starts. Second thing you're going to notice is this is much smaller than the full screen. So I'm going to do two things. One is I'm going to double click this up here. I'm going to hold shift and I'm going to make it bigger. That way I have a larger graphic. I also want the background to be white. So I'm going to go to File, New, Color Matte. I'm going to create a new color matte the size and width of my screen. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to choose the color I want. I want it to be white. I'm going to name it Color Matte. And it's going to pop up inside my project. I'm going to click and drag it underneath here. And now I have this nice white background on that. Now as it plays, it goes directly into my video. Second thing I want to do is I want to create some titles. So even though this now says it doesn't have my Maxwell Smart title, so I'm going to create some titles. You create titles by going up here to Title, New Title, and I'm going to have a still title. I'm going to name this Maxwell Smart Title and hit OK. So the way this works is it's going to show you anywhere your screen is, right? So I want it to start at the intro. I'm going to add some text here. I want my text to say Maxwell Smart. As you see, that is not a great color. I'm going to highlight it, and I can change my color right here. I'm going to make it black. I didn't highlight everything. I'm going to make it black. So now my words are black. I can select it all. And then here I have different options. I have position, which lets me position it. I have width, I have a height, I have font family, style, font size. I want this to be bigger. I want it to be that big. I'm going to move it right here. I'm going to add maybe some more text down here that says, I'm not that smart. And I'm going to drag that there. So now I have a title created. Now this is a little bit weird because you think you're going to have to save something. You don't. All you do is exit out. And that title automatically drops into your bucket over here with your other items. So now I can click this and drag it anywhere. If I drag it here, it's going to pop up there. I don't want it there. I want it to be here. So now on this video, I have Maxwell Smart, I'm not that smart. Cool? Hi, that's the boss here. Next thing you are going to learn. So you know how to make a title, you know how to make a color mat, you know how to bring in your footage and files, you know how to take those files and drop them into your timeline. The next thing you need to know is how to use effects. So I want the words Maxwell Smart, I'm not that smart, as well as this entire intro to fade into my video. So you have a couple things you can do. One of them is you can come up here to Effects, and that's going to bring you your Effects tab. I'll have a lot of effects. So I have a couple video effects that I want to use. The first one I want to use is a crossfade, and the way you find that is you go into here, and we have a lot of options. So we have a lot of video effects. We can adjust our video. It has levels, lighting, etc. We have keying if you want to do green screen. We have generate to generate some different circles or ellipses. We can distort it by using like a fisheye or magnify or mirrors. So we have a lot of things like that. We also have video transitions, and I want to use a simple transition. I want to use a dissolve. And a cross dissolve is probably one of the most used dissolves. It's a nice smooth way to transition in between either footage or images. So I'm going to click and drag that cross dissolve here. So if I put it on that one, that's only going to cross dissolve the video. If I put it here, that's going to cross dissolve the image. I want to cross dissolve between these two. So I'm going to go. As you see, it's cross dissolving just the background, right? Because I didn't apply it to this as well. So we need to get that cross dissolve and drop it onto this end. As we play, they both dissolve into my footage. We also want to cross dissolve on top of this. So now all of these should fade around the same time. See? Cross dissolves. Let's watch that again. It's going to go, and as it hits these, it's going to slowly fade into that. So, you now know how to use cross dissolves as well. Those are your effects. To get back to your editing, you come up here to editing, and it brings you right back to your old or the original layout that you had. All right. You have your zoom tool, which is good because now I'm going to bring in some audio. The way you bring in audio, same idea. You're going to grab your audio and drag it in. Remember, I can't drag my audio here because these are videos, but I can drag it down here into audio. I'm going to put that in audio 2. Audio 1 is my voice from the video. Audio 2 is some music. So now as I play this, you'll notice that this is too loud. It's covering up my voice, which I don't want to do. But I do like it to start a little bit loud. I want to edit this audio. So I'm going to drag this down so I can see my audio a little bit better. And now I'm going to show you the next tool. That is the pen tool. The pen tool allows me to adjust the audio levels. So I want to start this a little. I can make dots across the lines. I'm going to make a couple dots here. I want my audio to start loud. And then I want it to start dropping. So it's going to be loud, start fading here. It's It's going to fade. It's going to fade some more. And by the time I start talking, it's going to be completely done. So let's try that again. It's fading. Hi, Max the Boss here from MaxwellSmart.co, and today I'm doing Introduction to Web Design, Part 1. See how that works? That's the pen tool. You can do the same thing on the yellow line for video, and that's the opacity, how opaque or how clear the video is. The audio is a lot longer than the video. So, back to this tool. You can either use your razor tool to cut the audio there, and then delete it, or I'm just going to undo that. Another way to do it is just using your select tool. You can grab the back and just drag it to where it's done. Now it's going to cut the audio there. We can also extend it back to its full length. I'm not going to do that because if you listen to the audio, I want the ending of the song to end with me. See if I can. So I'm going to grab the pen tool again, because as you notice, the audio is still dead. I'm going to bring that audio back up to full voice pretty quickly so I can listen to it. And I want to hear the very end. So I want that ending to be where my video ends. So how do I do that? I'm going to grab this tool. The center doesn't matter because we're not listening to it. I'm going to cut out the entire center of the song. I'm going to grab my selection tool, delete that, and then move this to the end. So now it should end where I end. On the bottom of your site. That is it for today. Follow up next time on usability. So not quite. I want me to say, as you can watch, I'm going to grab this, this drop down, and you're going to hear it. So let's see how this works. Of your site. That is it for today. Follow up next time on usability. Have a good day. All right, so I'm adjusting the audio to match my voice. Of your site. That is it for today. Please follow up next time on usability. Have a good day. It's a lot of trial and error. So as I'm talking, you'll notice the audio is going to kick in right here. Especially if this is some sort of resume site. Always have your contact information, easy to find, and most typically on the bottom of your site. That is it for today. Please follow up next time on usability. Have a good day. And there it is. So now I have the audio ending. I'm going to want to have the end recap with the titles I made. So an easy way to do that, as opposed to redoing the work, I can select these, hit Control-C or right-click and say Copy, drag my scrubber bar, which is this guy, to here, hit Control-V or Paste, make sure it butts up right against it, and usability. Have a good day. And it fades out because we had that fade. So now, we're going to watch this whole video, and you're going to know what you have learned. And here we go. Audio starts to fade. Video starts. Smart.co, and today I'm doing Introduction to Web Design, Part 1. Creating for the web. There are three main sections for creating for the web. So we have the whole video going. Towards the end of the video, you'll hear the music kick back in. Contact information, easy to find, and most typically on the bottom of your site. That is it for today. Fading up. Next time on usability. Have a good day. And the video ends. So, quick recap. You use the media browser to bring in your footage. You have all your things that you need here. So you have your video, your music, your titles. You create titles by going to Title, New Title. You can create a color matte by going to File, New, color matte. You know about the selection tool and the razor tool and the zoom tool. You can also zoom by grabbing the bar down here and coming in and out. You know how to make the audio bigger so it's easier to look at by dragging here. You know about the video levels and the audio levels. You also know about each of the screens, the source, the program, the timeline or sequence. You know about your libraries, your media browser. You also know how to use the effects tab and how to find the effects tab, and how to go back to editing. As you can see, those are really the basics to video editing. With just those few tools, you can make a nice, simple video. You don't need to know all of these yet. Those we can learn in later videos, but for now, I think you're pretty much set. Next thing you want to do is finish the video by rendering the video. As you see, we have some red parts. That means those aren't rendered. It means the computer needs to actually get through and finalize it. So I'm just going to go render effects into out. So now it's going through each frame and making sure it's, and when it's done, you will have green. Now that the video has finished rendering, we can simply go to File, Export. Oh, I got to click on the project area first so it knows what to export. File, Export, and sometimes this takes a bit, Media. You're going to choose the format you want to export it for. I want to do a simple format. What's nice about this is it gives you a lot of options. So I want to do a format as H.264, which is great for the web. And after I choose that, there's also some presets. So H.264, I can go down and choose a preset. As you can see, there's a ton for Facebook, for HD, for Twitter, for Vimeo, for YouTube. I would do a simple YouTube 720p. I would hit export, continue exporting the video. So that's it for the video. Hope you learned a bit. As I click out of here, you can just hit save, and your project will save exactly how it is. And all my files will be left in the folder that I saved at the beginning. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll get some more of these videos out for the future. All right, adios.